Hello, everybody. Brian Reed, branch manager of Neighborhood Loans here in Chandler, Arizona. I am sitting with a special guest today, Larissa Powell, from Your Home Sold Guarantee. She's a great agent with Your Home Sold Guarantee. Today, we're going to talk about what, as a buyer, as a customer, you're getting ready to buy a house. What do you do? What don't you do? You're in a very, very confusing environment right now. You're talking to your family members, your cousins that bought one house, or your parents that bought two houses, and you're getting tons of information from all these different directions where people are claiming to be subject matter experts and help you through this. So what do you do and what don't you do? Well, the first thing that I would suggest doing is reaching out and finding out who's the best lender that you should be working with, who's going to have your best interest in mind. Best way to figure this out is NMLSconsumeraccess.gov. This is a database that will list all loan officers' information, how long they've been in the industry, what their employment history is. You get a really good idea of who you're dealing with and who you're talking to. And it's just good practice to do that. When you go to a doctor's office and they're getting ready to do surgery on you, then you probably need to vet out who this doctor is, where they graduated from, what's their experience like. And right now you're getting ready to have the largest purchase in your home. Your home is going to be the largest purchase in your life. And so it's going to be your largest financial purchase that you're going to deal with. And so it's very important that you're dealing with a professional that knows exactly what they're talking about, and that they're also working with an agent like Larissa, who has experience, who has tenure, who works well with that lender. A lot of times you will have lenders and agents that don't necessarily work symbiotically with each other. And so sometimes there's gaps there between the communication process between the lender and the agent. And it's good that that's more of a seamless relationship, because it's going to help you have a more successful transaction as things go on. So Larissa, what would you say is an important aspect to that, as if you were to speak to a first-time home buyer or somebody that's bought homes before? What do you think are very important key points to address?
Well, when you're getting ready to buy a home, first of all, you want to search, but don't believe necessarily what you find out there on the searches. Zillow, the way they do their pricing and the marketing, doesn't mean that that's the true number. Also, when you're talking, yeah, it's good to talk to your friends and family and get some of their ideas, but then again, you want to get to a professional to find out what you need based on what the market is currently doing. I like to take my clients to see a large variety of homes. When we're out there looking for homes, they have an idea of what they want, but part of it is they don't know what's available. So by taking them over to this house, which I tell them, look, you're probably not wanting to see this house. I get it. You're not going to buy the house, but I want you to see it, because now you can compare it to the one that you really want to get and open your eyes to different possibilities. And then we're going to go over here to this other side and look at the other possibilities, again, comparing it to what you think that is going to meet your needs. Now, as they go out and look at the houses and we talk, we start to realize, oh, I do like this aspect. Oh, I didn't realize I don't like that aspect. Now I'd like this one. So your mind broadens to what your options are. It's like going into a restaurant, you think the only thing that they serve there is hamburgers, and then you discover, oh, they also have filet mignon, and they've got seafood and a beautiful dessert bar. Like, oh, I have options. So we like to go and try on different shoes. Then going back to the house and make sure that it's the right fit for you. Now, this is where it's very important to have a good lender involved in this, because sometimes people are, oh, I love this house, but can I afford it? That's where the lender comes in. I love this house. Can I afford the payments? I hate this house. Let's move on to the next one. As we go through the process of dialing in what the needs are, sometimes it's because you've got the potential of a family member moving in with you that needs a downstairs full bedroom with a full bath, and you have the perfect house, but it's not there. So we either look for another house, or we also look at adding construction. How much is it going to cost? Sometimes buyers go into a home and they think, oh, I love this house, but it doesn't fit my needs, so I'm just going to tear out this part and build it, having no idea the cost of doing that, where we need to take them to another home and find something that's already done, because the cost of doing what they think is going to cost them $20,000 is actually going to end up costing them $75,000, just because they're doing one thing that's a fix. But some of the things to not do when you're looking at a house. Don't get super excited about the furniture that you're going to buy to put in the house, because you do not want to put a down payment or buy on credit anything that's going to impact that loan. What I would not do is go look at new cars. Maybe you think that you've got to get a new car. If your car quits, borrow your neighbor's car. Find a car to rent. Do not buy a new car, because here's what you can do. Buy the house, and the next day you can go out and buy the car. But if you buy that car first, you're not going to be able to qualify for that loan, most likely. Brian?
Really, really, really good point. The reason why that comes off that way is because typically as lenders, when we pre-qualify somebody, we're pre-qualifying them for the max amount that they can afford, because most consumers want to qualify for the max that they can afford. Not all buyers have just a budget where they just sit and say, look, I don't want to get over $500,000 even though I could afford a $2 million home. So buying a car doesn't necessarily affect everybody, but for most people it does. You can have people that make substantial amount of money. They've set their budget of what they want to spend on a house. They go out and buy a car. They got really good credit. They give us a new terms and conditions of the purchase. In those events, those aren't something that really necessarily would blow up a mortgage loan. However, all of these customers that we speak to and buyers that we speak to, is we let them know beforehand. If you choose to do this, please call us and let us know before you do it. Do not take it upon yourself to go and purchase a car in hopes that you would still qualify for a loan. We've had this thing and this mindset in the United States for a very, very long time that you're approved off of your credit, just your credit score. A lot of times people go buy a car and they don't even provide pay stubs. They just have an 800 FICO and they drive the car off the lot thinking it's no big deal. Unfortunately, that's not how houses are. We're looking at every single penny that's spent, debt to income ratio. So as you start to include additional payments and add that into your debt to income ratio, that could put you in a situation where you're no longer qualifying because your debt to income ratio is too high. So to your point, Larissa, that is absolutely correct. Any other pointers or what you would say you should or shouldn't do when you're buying a house? From a real estate perspective, what would you say is the best thing if you were to give advice?
I wouldn't limit myself to location. In looking at buying and selling homes, particularly with buying a home, I wouldn't limit myself to location. People say, I want to be within 15 minutes of work. And they are living in, or their work is in downtown Scottsdale. And they have a budget of maybe $400,000, they're going to have a hard time finding what they're looking for. Now, if they're willing to drive till you qualify, is a term that my husband likes to use, drive till you qualify. If you're willing to look outside the area just a little bit, sometimes you're living in an area that's only half an hour away from where your work is, but on heavy traffic days, it might be 45 minutes. If you just add an extra 15 minutes to your drive, it is amazing the savings that you can get by just driving an extra 15 minutes from what you thought you did not want to do. That can be $150,000 savings on beautiful homes. There are new builds that are farther out that people are completely unaware of in some of these areas in Eloy, Toltec area, the Arizona City area, that are gorgeous. Some of them are 18,000 square feet, 1,800 square feet on a third of an acre lot, fully fenced, granite countertops, ceramic tile floor, ceramic roof. The showers are amazing. And if you go in the guest bathroom, you think you just walked into the master bathroom because it's just so beautiful. These homes run less than $400,000. You take that same home and you drop it in Gilbert, you're talking $800,000. And the difference? 15 minutes of driving time. So you're driving an extra 15 minutes. You're used to driving 45. Now you're going to drive an extra 15 minutes of driving time to get a gorgeous home and have a beautiful living experience. So the do's and don'ts. Don't limit yourself to location. Be open to exploring. Take the drive. Go out there and just experience what it's like. Try on the shoes. You might never think, I'm never going to go out there. I've had people who lived in Buckeye and they never ever thought that they would move to Toltec. And yet when we took the drive just for fun to look at it, they fell in love with it and they bought it.
I think those are really, really good points. I mean, when I bought my first house was in 1999, and with a lot of employers that I've worked for, it's been typically in higher affluent areas that, when I bought my first house, I was a 20-year-old kid, you know, working on a processor salary. And so, you know, I was working at a mortgage company in Scottsdale. So I was driving almost 45 minutes to an hour one way each way. And so that was the reality of it. But, you know, selling that house and the equity gains that I got in moving and by constantly buying and not worried about necessarily the location of the proximity close to my job has really paid out in the long run for me and in the houses that I've owned. So that's a very, very good point, Larissa. Again, Brian Reeve, branch manager with Neighborhood Loans, here with Larissa Powell. Thank you so much for coming. Larissa, how would one get a hold of you or a customer get a hold of you they'd like to reach out to you?
Well, I'm Larissa Powell. My husband's TJ Andrus, and they can contact me by calling the number below. I work with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty.